The names of the 22 people killed by the gunman have been known for 2 years. But now, it's clear dozens more crossed his path as he drove a mock police cruiser across Nova Scotia.
It wasn't until after I was absolutely sure it was him that I really thought how close it was, and it really could have been me. If he'd, like I say, if he'd have put the lights on me, flashed, or even, motioned for me to pull over, I would have done it, because I would have thought he was going to ask me a question or something. I would have had no qualms of stopping whatsoever. So, a couple of days when it settled in, I'm pretty lucky that he didn't, because I would have.
Dykins is one of at least 44 people who encountered the shooter. People of all ages. Some in cars, others on foot. Some of them children with their parents. All of whom have likely wondered just how close they came to being counted among the victims. Most encounters with the gunman were uncomfortably close. Community members investigated explosions and gunshots, driven by a concern for their neighbors. Intuition sent former Portapique resident David Faulkner investigating. He just happened to be driving by the community and saw the fires. As he drove, he saw the police cruiser parked without its lights on. His intuition kicked in again. He told the commission, "Seems strange, so we just made the corner and kept on going for some reason. Why? I have no idea. I'm glad I did now." Faulkner wasn't the only one that night. A total of 18 people in Portapique were close calls. The gunman left the community around 10:45 p.m. and arrived at a Debert business park at 11:12 p.m. 2 miners listening to music in a nearby field saw the gunman's police cruiser driving in circles around midnight. They later told police how strange that had been. After stopping for the night in Debert, the gunman drove to the home of Sean McLeod and Alana Jenkins in Wentworth. Neighbor April Dares drove her truck early that morning toward their home on Hunter Road after hearing gunshots and a dog barking. She stopped, just 2 driveways down the road. A little voice just said, "Okay, go home." And I listened, thank goodness. Around 9:15, Dare saw the gunman's cruiser leaving the area. Between Hunter Road and Glen Home, 3 people had some form of encounter with the gunman. Driving south on Highway 4 from Wentworth, the gunman evaded the RCMP by pulling into the driveway of Adam and Carol Fisher's home. They recognized him immediately. Carol ran to hide in the bathtub, on the phone with 911, pleading for help. Adam had a gun in hand. There was a hard knock at the door. "I thought I was dying," Carol later told police. "I just felt that help wasn't coming, and I was so scared." The gunman left and was back in Debert about 10 minutes later. Many more close calls with the gunman happened along the Plains Road in Debert around 10 a.m. when he killed Kristen Beaton and Heather O'Brien. At least 12 people saw the gunman or missed him by seconds. Jerry Dykins was one of them.
I stopped at Tim Hortons in Debert to get my wife a coffee on the way home. And coming home is where I met this cop car. And the guy had a baseball cap on, and he lifts his hand off the wheel, his right hand about 6 inches, and waved to me, and I waved back to him. And I never thought nothing of it. I just thought that he had been working down in Portapique all night and was probably going home. That's what come to mind. But shortly after that, my daughter called me or texted me and said that the shooter was still on the loose, and that I should go home and stay home. And then shortly after that again, she called and said that he was driving a replica police car. And I said to her, I just met a cop car, I said, in Debert. I don't even know how to describe what it does, because why did he wave to me? He waved first, I didn't. So I just thought he was a tired cop heading home, really.
These accounts are just a fraction of those documented for the Mass Casualty Commission. The details of the close calls are laid out in interviews, radio logs, and 911 transcripts gathered by the commission leading the inquiry, and doesn't yet include the people who crossed the gunman's path between Plains Road and Enfield. The inquiry resumes on Monday. Haley Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.